I've been using the iPhone 16 Plus for about 7 months now, and this is the first time I've ever made a video like this, where 6, 7 months into the year, I'm re-talking about the phone I did a review on months ago. And that's because this is the first time after 6 months I've ever felt the need to. I have been specifically an iPhone user since the iPhone 7. I had an iPhone 7 Plus. That was the first iPhone I ever had. From there, I got the iPhone 10, got the iPhone 12 Pro, 13 Pro, 14 Pro, 15 Pro, and now the 16 Plus. I have used and daily driven an iPhone that entire time. Now, I do have a second phone now, so I've got the Galaxy Fold. But that's not really important. But normally, I know after the review I do a month after getting the phone, I know the entirety of how I'm going to feel about a phone. But this is by far the worst iPhone I have ever used, and it is one of the worst phones I've ever used. Now, most of that bad experience isn't from a hardware perspective, though there is some of that. It's a software perspective. iOS 18 is by far the worst version of iOS I have ever used. It is a buggy, sloppy mess in a way that iOS normally is not. Now, I get every operating system is a piece of shit. That's how it works. Windows sucks. Android OS sucks, whichever version of it. They all suck. And iOS, has always sucked, but it's never been this bad. But it is atrocious right now. One of the biggest issues I have is at least twice a day, in the middle of doing any task, I will try to open an app, and then my phone screen will go black and it'll get the little spinning wheel of death and then just completely restart, deleting whatever you were currently doing, which, if you're doing anything important on your phone, can be a major problem. It's cut out trying to do streams from my phone because randomly the entire phone just needs to crash and restart. My AirPods have currently had issues swapping between devices, which has never been a thing before. Trying to cast things to my TV rarely works at all. It's really weird. And then the entire thing with Apple AI has been atrocious. Every feature that was promised when they started talking about Apple's new AI stuff, none of it's come out yet. None of it at all. And what has come out is just genuinely atrocious. The volume controls have started to not work. If I don't have volume on randomly, it will just turn up to the max. Or the opposite, when I'm listening at full volume, on TikTok scrolling, and I scroll, suddenly there's no audio. Why? Because suddenly my phone is entirely muted. I didn't push any buttons. I didn't ask you to mute, but you suddenly are for some reason. I don't understand it. Then, speaking of hardware issues, nothing too huge. The speakers are still great. The cameras are really good. All of that exists. Though this is, weirdly, even though this is supposed to be Apple's best glass, the most scratched I've ever had a phone get. And I know, put it in a case, put a screen protector on. I never have before. Nothing's changed about the way I use my phone. The only thing that has changed is the phone. It's much like how I was talking about the glass on the Galaxy Fold, where if you left it on its screen ever, it was guaranteed to be scratched. I didn't used to have that problem, but I set my phone on its screen one time, picked it up, and just ginormous scratches. Insane. The biggest hardware flaw, though, is the camera button, because it's the worst thing. It is in an awkward spot for when you're holding your phone in one hand to take a picture, and the button requires too much force to push, so you end up shaking as you take the picture, which leads to a shitty, blurry picture. And then if you're trying to take a photo in landscape mode, it's not in the right spot. Christ, there's no button here. The button's here, which is the most uncomfortable thing. And like maybe if you middle finger it or hold your phone really awkward, everything about the iPhone 16 just feels incorrect. It's like Apple was like, what's the worst thing we could do? And they released that. The promises of these AI features, we are 7 months in and don't have the majority of them, though Apple keeps advertising them like they're out right now. It is atrocious. For the first time since the iPhone 7, I'm genuinely considering, when my contract is up at the end of the year, ditching iPhone and going with something like daily driving a Galaxy Fold. I will actually probably lean towards Pixel Fold, at least currently. That's where my head's at. Not sure. I like the folding form factor. I wish Apple would make one. But at this point, I don't trust them to not have the buggiest, worst experience with it, because they can't even handle the software on their regular phones. I've had issues with the keyboard, like the built-in keyboard, where it just disappears from the screen. I can still type, but I can't see the keyboard. It just goes away. There's just a black bar for no reason. Safari, randomly, as you're scrolling through it, will just shut down, basically. Whole phone doesn't work. You can't do anything. And then you got to restart your phone. Multiple restarts of a phone every day is bad product design. What happened to the days of it's Apple? It just magically works. Nothing magically works. It just magically fucking sucks, dude. Like, that's it. I hope that iOS 19 can fix most of these problems. But I can't trust OS updates to do good things anymore, because there is no good operating system on the planet currently. Not one. So I know maybe switching to Android won't help, but my God, this is not what it's supposed to be. Let me know in the comments below if you're having issues with iOS 18 as a whole, and more specifically with the iPhone 16 and 16 Pro. But I think that's going to do it for me today. So thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.